Okay, here we are. We're back.
We're back, yes.
After having listened to the president give his latest speech, I had to go take a shower and cleanse myself a little bit. So I'm back.
Okay, yes.
This is a meeting taking place of the City Beat magazine, and the lady who is the gently called the bitch editor is talking to her reporters about what they should do, what they should have done, and what they could do. She starts off with our friend Michael Bronstein, who has come in with his report. Okay, Bronstein, you can stop doodling and giggling now. Uh-oh. I could feel the air in the room suddenly go up 50 degrees. She was heating up with her anger. Jesus H. Christ, Mike. I sent you down to Skid Row, a choice assignment, to interview this chic new ghetto artist, this Emmanuel Conrad person. Get lots of local color and flavor. Put a face on Skid Row, not to find Mother Teresa or Lord Gandhi behind every piece of cardboard on the sidewalk. Listen up, everybody. I'm going to give you capsule accounts of the last 3 people Michael Bronstein found on Skid Row. Dorothy B. I can't give my last name because it would embarrass my folks. Dorothy B. spends her 15 minutes of fame talking about cooperative economics. Oh, please. But Shirley, that's what she talked about, no kidding. You'll have your choice for a rebuttal. Just hold on for a sec, okay? I felt like leaping on the table and screaming, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you! The shallow play isn't half bad. Winston Wilde's ex-child prodigy, latter-day schizo, Juilliard School playing cello on the streets for his daily soup. I find this interesting. One of the best things about Mr. Wilde is that he doesn't do a lot of pontificating about his creativity. He just doesn't. I think he might be worth a follow-up, okay? I made a note to hook up with Winston Wilde again as soon as possible. There's no telling where his creativity and his schizophrenia will take him. Finally, we have this Muslim woman named Imani, who claims to be very devout, despite the fact that she spends most of her day high or drunk or both. She says she ran away from home at 10 years old because she was going to be circumcised. Well, I could see that as a motivating factor without a doubt. So there we have it. Mr. Bronstein's Skid Row, where all of the citizens appear to be so erudite that it's almost impossible to love or hate them. Where are the scum, Mike? Where are the human rats? Ooh. That can't be Charlie Jackson, the drug dealer. Right. Right. The guy who welcomes you to his spiffy little tent and serves you tea and crumpets, saltine crackers and water. Whatever. Look, these people are too damn good, too damn articulate, too refined. I think we deserve to be acquainted with the scum as well as the saints. Recently, a woman had her head stomped in. A couple of guys were stabbed to death. What about those people, Bronstein? What about them? I've just been dealing with the people I've met through Conrad. What are you, some kind of yo-yo or something? This guy got you on a string? Let's see what a little independent reporting can do, okay? Let's get busy, folks. We got deadlines to meet. I connected with Conrad on his recently acquired cell phone. I've resisted a lot of this personal tech stuff for a long time. It's like having an electronic leash around your neck. Hey, Conrad, what's up? Nothing much. I'm just hanging out here in my office. Your office? Yeah, Persian Square. I'll see you within the hour. Cool, if I have to leave the office for any reason, I'll leave notice of my whereabouts with my secretary. That's funny. I like that. See ya. Less than an hour later, I was sprawled out on one of the stone benches in Pershing Square, sipping a can of Ghetto 40 from a brown bag, getting pragmatic advice from Emmanuel Conrad, philosopher, keeping an eye out for cops. Shit, I don't see what you're down about. This is the perfect opportunity to show how creative you can be. Invent some monsters for this bitch. What does she know about the scene? About being out here? But Conrad, that would be unethical, wouldn't it? We both spotted the bald-headed hair brushing man.
Wow.
It hurt my scalp to watch him brush the few strangled gray hairs cover over his head, over and over and over. Hey, look at it this way, Mike. What the hell does ethics have to do with survival?
Wow.
You could always add a caveat to the profiles, something to the effect that the names have been changed to protect the innocent and the guilty.
Wow.
Something like that. I don't know, Conrad. I just don't think it would be ethical. He gave me a funny look as he edged away. Hey, Conrad, where you going, man? Micah, have you forgotten? I'm a writer. I'm writing another book. I'm going to the pad to write. I sat in the square for another hour after he left, finishing off my beer, watching the bald-head brushing man and a few other oddballs that shuffled onto the scene. The old white woman who mooned the imaginary people around her, the middle-aged African-American woman who lay down on the grass and masturbated till 3 of the Pershing Square security people came along to escort her out of the square. Maybe it was the beer, but I was a little bit annoyed by their action. Hey, why don't you guys leave her alone? She's not doing anything wrong. Since when is it illegal to masturbate in Pershing Square? Poor little class-conscious control robot idiots. They didn't know what to do. I could tell from the expressions on their faces. Whoa, who's this guy here? The largest of the 3 marched over to speak to me. This isn't any of your business, brother. I gave him one of my Shirley Brown glares. Yes, this is my business. He studied me carefully for a few beats. Obviously, I wasn't crazy. I was a 30-year-old Jewish guy, and I wasn't dressed in Skid Row fashion. Can I see some ID, please? Yes, of course. I felt a sense of power opening my wallet to show him that I was a reporter for City Beat magazine. Oh, City Beat. I read that sometimes, he mumbled. His fellow robots were questioning him with their expressions. Come on, Jack, let's get this over with. What's happening? Look, Mr. Bronstein, we don't like doing this kind of stuff, but we gotta do it. Why? I asked him, arching my left eyebrow in a poor imitation of Shirley Brown. The man stared at the ground for a full 30 seconds before he answered. We can't just let people do what they want to do out here, you know what I'm saying? It was my turn to be stymied. Well, what are you going to do with her? We're going to escort her out of Pershing Square. What if she decides to keep on doing what she's doing across the street? Well, then that'll be somebody else's problem. I didn't know what else to say. I simply took my wallet back, stuffed it in my hip pocket, and watched the security people herd the masturbationist out of the square. She turned to give me a wild, cross-eyed look. I decided to pay Charlie Jackson a visit. It took a few left turns to find him because he had moved his immaculate tent a few blocks away. He didn't seem surprised to see me. Assalamu-alaikum. So what could a non-observant Jew answer? Shalom.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it was the first of many such exchanges. Assalamu-alaikum. Shalom.
Oh, no.
Maybe we thought of it as some kind of Arab-Jewish peace exchange. What can I say at this late date? In any case, I can say he definitely had the most potent crack on the scene. In a rare attack of crack macho, I confronted Shirley Brown, editor, and tried to show her how important it was to show people who were down could be important to our society. They could make a difference too. Come on, Mike. These people are losers. They always have been and they always will be. Would you say the same thing if you wound up where one of them is right now? Shirley didn't speak to me for a week. I didn't care. I had made a point that I had discovered crack big time. Crack became my reason for wanting to do more stories about the scene. A few of the people at City Beach started calling me Skids, or sometimes SR, you know, Skid Row. Maybe it happened over a few months, but I'm sure it took less time than that for me to go to the scene, to be out there, and forget about deadlines and serious responsibilities. I was free, and I had only one goal, and that was to get high every day, as often as possible. It was unavoidable that I would run into Conrad at some point. I was praying that I would be on my way to get high and not be high when I ran into him. I wasn't that lucky. I walked out of this alley high from a crack I had just smoked with a leper and a bipolar semi-catatonic schizophrenic. I must have looked like a wild man of Borneo. I had stopped caring about myself. I just wanted to make certain I got high as often as possible. Nothing else mattered. Whoa! Hold on, Bronstein. What the hell is wrong with you? Are you out of your cotton picking mind? I had tried unsuccessfully to edge around his left and then his right flank. He wasn't allowing any flanking movements. Nice to see you, Conrad, really nice, but I gotta go, I got a deadline to make. He gave me that disgusted downturn of the corners of his mouth, and I hated, feared, was intimidated by it. It was the equivalent of Shirley Brown's glaring, okay? Maybe it was his sudden, dazzling, charming smile, or his hand guiding my movements like a puppet. What could I say? Well, okay, but I can't stay long. 2 hours later, after 4 refills of this battery acid coffee with enough sludge in it to hold a spoon upright, I had cried, confessed that I was hooked on crack cocaine, and that I felt ashamed, miserable, stupid, crazy. Nah, Bronstein, you ain't crazy. I know crazy when I see it. You may be all the other things, but you ain't crazy. Conrad was so cold, so cold. He did a little life scenario thing that chilled me to the bone. All I'm saying to you, Bronstein, is very simple. Your very ass is in dire danger. Sooner or later, while you're out here chasing the pipe, you're gonna get busted. Count on that, because you don't know enough to stay out of jail. I can see a couple of husky black trustees sweeping your cell out right now. And that's going to be the end of you as a man, because you're semi-cute, and everybody's going to want a little bit of your round eye. Dig where I'm coming from? I felt myself doing involuntary kegels. Conrad, look, man, I appreciate everything you just laid on me, and I can tell you, that's it for me. No job, that's it. No more crack. Read my lips. He didn't say anything as I eased off the stool and trotted to the crack house. Yes, I had made a moral commitment to cleansing myself. But first I had to have that one last hit, and then another last hit, and then another one. 4 days later, I had the misfortune to wind up in Conrad's presence again. Oh, so now you're a full-fledged dopehead. Dope fiend, huh? Conrad, please don't say that. It's not true. I'm not a dope fiend. Oh, no? Then what are you? I felt trapped. What are you? Who are you? Wasn't that the question he had asked himself? That question that steered him away from being insane? Suddenly it seemed that the people swarming around us on the street had slowed to slow motion. Oh my God, am I losing my mind? I am Michael Bronstein, a reporter for City Beat magazine. Conrad squeezed his eyes into laser beam slits. Are you sure? Seems like you're a dope fiend to me. The words grated on my mind like scratchy chalk on a blackboard. My feelings were hurt. I wanted to cry. Conrad, don't say that, man. Please, don't say that. All right, then, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that you are who you say you are. Michael Bronstein, City Beat magazine reporter. I nodded numbly. If that's true, then I only have two more questions to put to you. Would Michael Bronstein be out here chasing the pipe? And if you really are who you say you are, a reporter for City Beat, what have you written lately? He stood there for a full pregnant moment, waiting for my answer. I couldn't think of an answer. I felt the intense urge to go and get high. Well, I got stuff to do, Mike. See you around. I stood where he left me, watching his broad back melt into the crowd. I staggered toward the square, mumbling to myself. I am Michael Bernstein. I'm a reporter for City Beat magazine. I am Michael Bernstein. I'm a reporter for City Beat magazine. The people who passed me by, the ones who heard my mantra, smile knowingly. Another nutcase who thinks he's somebody else. I was in my third week of rehab in this authoritarian anti-drug program down in Long Beach when I got this call from Shirley Brown. I was shocked, to tell the truth, ashamed to be found out. I thought I'd wipe my trail clean. Come on, Michael, we have spies everywhere. This is City Beat, remember? Seriously though, your friend Conrad called us, told us where you were.
Wow.
There were big gaps in our 10 minutes allowed conversation. What could we really talk about? So how long will you be in rehab? About another 3 weeks. Then what? A perverse spot in the back of my brain wanted to scream, and then I'm going to get high. But fortunately, the impulse was censored. Then what? Well, I'll be living in a halfway house for about a year. What are you going to do to earn an honest living? My God, was this really Shirley Brown, editor, speaker? She sounded so warm and sympathetic. Well, you think we could persuade you to come back to City Beat? Wow, I didn't know what to say. One of the consuls signaled from across the room. 2 more minutes, 2 more. Well, sure, Shirley, I'd love to come back. Good, we'll be in touch meanwhile. Mike? She sounded kind of weepy, a little teary. Yeah? You know, I feel somewhat responsible for you falling into the drug bag. The consul signaled. 1 minute. If I hadn't assigned you, Shirley, listen to me close because I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm responsible for grabbing the pipe, not you. Not anybody but me. I'm the one who determines what happens to me in my life. Okay? Okay. I think that's one of the most important things a dope fiend has to understand and come to grips with. Okay? Okay. Gotta go now. I'll be in touch with you. Stay in touch. Bye. I managed to hang up the phone before the consul snatched it out of my hand. These ladies and gentlemen didn't play around. You either played the game according to their rules or they would bounce you out of the program. I lived in the halfway house for about 9 months, doing articles for City Beat and scrubbing lots of floors. You may know how to write, Bronstein, but you damn sure don't know how to shit about waxing the floor. I relapsed twice, but no one knew about it but me. And Conrad. I can't really say how I wound up on Skid Row, 10 seconds from making a buy when I saw Conrad strolling down the street. I don't know if he spotted me or not, but his presence on the same side of the street was enough to force me to scurry back down to the rehab house. I was pissed off. I had not made my buy. The second time he interfered with my urgent urge to self-destruct occurred on a Sunday afternoon on 3rd and Elm in Long Beach. the sleazy creature who oozed up from the Bay Hotel steps and held his palm out to me, 2 rat-shit pallets of crack reveal, was enough to send my dope-fiend brain into a tailspin. Crack, high, seconds long, nirvana. And then here comes Immanuel Conrad as the righteous hallucination. I remember his words as a mantra. If a motherfucker can't leave drugs alone, he's worse than a child molester, because he's abusing himself and all of those who love him, her, it. I tossed the 2 rat shit pallets of crack into the alley, walked a few steps and turned back to see 2 guys groveling around in the alley, trying to retrieve the particles of crack cocaine that I had tossed away. If a motherfucker can't leave drugs alone, he's worse than a child molester, because he's abusing himself and all of those who love him, her, it. So, as you can see, my anti-drug encounters with crack included Conrad. And they were definitely non-addictive, or maybe I should say addictive, with clauses, caveats. Hey, Bronstein, you can smoke all the crack you want to smoke, but you're going to have to pay a price for it. The price is inflationary. You may not ever be able to find the principal again because the interest will be high. I gotta believe that you know what I'm saying, because you ain't crazy. I label these events as relapses. When I sat in our group at the rehab house and tried to justify my feelings, several of the rehab inmates, having braved the force of numerous addictions over long periods of time, trivialized my craziness with solid commentary. Look, Bronstein, you never was a true blue dope fan. You was what we call a hip hype. Now I gotta admit that a lot of my terminology date from the bop era. But a lot of shit ain't changed. Maybe won't ever change. Well, all I could think was very simple. Define me in any way you want, but one thing I do know is that smoking crack is not conducive to good health. Immanuel Conrad had another book out, Kwanzaa for the Homeless. Shirley, we gotta go to this. What is it? She glanced around from her computer screen. Conrad is doing a reading from his latest book at the Esselwan bookstore on Saturday. That's in Merck Park, isn't it? Well, not quite, but what difference does it make? She pretended to be deeply involved with whatever she was doing. I waited patiently. I had learned how to deal with Miss Shirley Brown Bronstein. I knew if she didn't make an immediate taut response, she was thinking real hard on the pitfalls of her response. There's a lot I have to deal with concerning events in Leimert Park. People come with so much attitude. The reading is 7 p.m. on Saturday, and we'll be there, okay? She bounced over from the computer and grabbed my head in a playful headlock. Oh, Michael, you are such a bear. Do you know that? Hey, be careful. I just got my hair combed yesterday. Don't mess it up. She stood back to stare at me. What are you talking about? What the hell is a conch? White man? We missed the reading part, fooling around, as she called it. But we got there for the question and answer section. Immanuel Conrad acknowledged our presence in the audience with one of his charming, sarcastic, welcoming smiles. In addition, he served stiff notice that he was not going to be available for a lot of nebulous questioning. 300 people for reading at Esselwan was a big audience. A lot of second-time authors would have been delighted to answer questions for as long as the audience was willing to stay until the store closed. All right, that's enough, he announced after the third semi-literary statement question. That's enough. I've explained that I picked 7 characters who represented the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, who also happen to be homeless, and I fused a novel out of it. That's all I have to say about it. Buy the book, read it, make it popular so I can get rich. The audience, appreciating his chutzpah, gave him a standing ovation, which he dismissed as inappropriate sentimentality. You should only give standing ovations to dead geniuses or people who died trying to make this a peaceful planet. The audience squeezed him for another hour, buying copies of his book and trying to peel off gems of wisdom at the same time. Mr. Conrad, I've read St. Julian 3 times now. Damn, boy, you must have an attention deficit disorder, huh? Mr. Conrad, my name is Gretchen von Heusen from Holland, and I must tell you that your St. Julian Street is very, very popular in Holland. You should come to do a reading in my country. You paying my fare?
Mm-hmm.
He gave me and Shirley the nod to meet him outside. Excuse me for a moment, ladies and gentlemen, but I must take a leak. He stood up from the book signing table, smiling graciously at all the people in line, holding copies of Kwanzaa for homeless to be signed, and met us out back in the parking lot. So what are you going to do when they discover you skipped out on them? He looked at me as though I asked the dumbest question he'd ever heard. What could they do? They can't kick my ass, can they?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't changed at all, bruh. We jumped into his waiting limo. Come on, I want you guys to go over here to this El Salvadorian restaurant with me on Venice, a place called Glorious. You have anything to eat yet? We nodded, no. They got the greatest pupusas on the planet. Don't worry, we'll come back here for your car. So what's up with you, Miss Bronstein? Y'all been married 2 years now and you ain't pregnant yet? What's the deal, Mike? Did that crack pipe steal your stuff away? I wouldn't let him give away that I cracked back on him. So what's the deal with you, Conrad? Are you married to this limo? Where's your wife? Where's your domestic thing? Are your books babies? In the dim light of the limo, he looked at me in an odd, admiring way. You've changed, Mike. You know that? Thank God, Allah, Buddha, the Orisha, whoever. Thanks to all of them. And you too, Conrad. We went to this restaurant and spent a delightful 2 hours. Conrad was at his Billy Goat gruff best. You should have seen this guy tonight. The police hemmed him up downtown in the lot. Listened to Mr. Philpott rap. I thought he was going to crap on himself. We've been back to the Papoose house about 10 times in the past year. Conrad is living currently in Amsterdam.
Oh, my.
I'm in Amsterdam now, but I'll be leaving for Spain at the end of the month. It's a bit too chilly for me here. Socially, they worked out a number of things, but there's nothing they can do about the weather. Keep in touch. We've had the scan done, and Shirley will be giving us a son next month.
Oh.
Of course, we've already decided that his name will be Emmanuel.
Oh.
I'm sharing the editorial chair with Shirley as City Beat and finishing my first novel, Kujichagulia, Self-Determination for the non-Swahili speakers. Harambe! Let's work together. All right. That's intermission.
Yes?
Conrad. You know how it is when you do a breakout thing, after you've done a breakout thing? Everybody wants to know, what's next? I played around with what's next for about a year before I settled on the Survival Tango.
Ah.
Well, why not the Survival Tango? I felt the urge to do some serious lying. Serious lying. I had such a serious urge that I felt it would be too much for one character, so I chose a bunch. That's the thing you have to understand about powerful characters. They'll take off on you. You have to be careful. You have to be careful when you're doing the Survival Tango. And remember that this was written after I was mad. And that's where we are.
And so for those who want to read the rest of the book, The Survival
Yes.
Tango, we suggest that you purchase it at iUniverse or on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Or go to your local bookstore and ask for Kwanzaa for Conrad and The Survival Tango. And Odie Hawkins' website is www.odiehawkins.com. And let me just zoom in a minute here.
Can I say this?
Yeah, hold on one second. Let me just, hold on one second. All right, go ahead.
If you can't find this book at the bookstore, find a friend who has purchased the book and steal it from him.
It's an ebook too. All right. Thank you, O.E. Hawkins.
Right on.
Right on. And Conrad's quite a character.
Quite a character.
So is O.E. Hawkins.
Quite a character.